Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about reclaiming your life from your possessions, the things that are owning, well, for me, the things that are owning me and I'm not owning them. And that's been a bit of a theme really for the last, 2 years since I did the major downsize. And if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to one of the playlists up here, but there were lots, and I did the mother of all downsize. Believe me, you can follow along. Be the judge, but I really moved some stuff when I changed from a very large house to my home now. So this has been ongoing. I've learned a lot along the way. So I've had the experience of it, and with my psychology background, of course, I analysed what I did as I was doing it. Yeah, I know. The benefits of education. You get to analyse yourself while you're doing things. So I did that, and I found that in the last 2 years, as I've continued this process, that I've just kept learning, and it's kept being in some ways simpler, in some ways a lot more complicated. But there's no doubt about it, that whatever your style, whether you are your style, and whatever your style is, it's perfect. Okay? I'm not here to be the style police. I'm not here to do downsizing, decluttering, boot camp. No. If you want that, there's a lot of it out there. What I want to do is to say that whatever your style, whether you love busy and patterns and lots of lovely things, or if you're at the other end of the scale and you love the whole monastic monk cell thing going on, don't laugh. I once watched an episode of Call the Midwife, that lovely BBC program set in the 60s, and it showed, I just walked in on it and it was already on, and the room, I thought, oh, what a fabulous room, because you know, plain bed and a plain little table with a plain lamp and a plain chair, and oh, it's just really nice. It's all white. Oops. I was talking about a woman who was pregnant in prison, hence the need for the midwife. It was a prison cell. Now, hey, I'm not saying that prison cells actually look like that, but it was just funny, my own response to a very minimal look. Now, I don't live like that. I have stuff. I keep having stuff. I will continue to have stuff. But on the other hand, I'm not likely to go down the path of really colourful, busy wallpaper teamed with another print that is, teamed off another print. That's not going to happen to me. But on the other hand, lots of people love it. And if that's what you love, that's good. And if you love the whole sort of minimalist thing, that's good too. But at some point in this whole process, we all need to get a little bit uncluttered. So it's uncluttering for the next little while here. I've got a fair bit of uncluttering to do. But when I look and start another round, because there have been many, round of decluttering, downsizing, uncluttering, I still get stuck. It's just a human thing maybe. I don't know, but I still get stuck. I still get overwhelmed. I still find days when I will rather procrastinate than do it, when I would just look away. So I thought about this and I thought, what are the 3 main steps for overcoming the overwhelm? And it's to ask myself, what sort of overwhelm is this? Because I know that for me there are 3 different sorts of overwhelm. And so that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to go through my 3 sorts of overwhelm and my 3 little action steps that can help get over that bump. And then I'm going to start doing it myself and just do a quickly go through. I've got a bookshelf and I'm just going to do apply it to that and see how much I get done. So what are the 3 biggest areas of overwhelm that stop me? Well, the first one is the size of the task. It's that, oh my God, there is so much to do. Now, having said that, there was never going to be bigger for me anyway than the big one I did before I moved. But even now I can think that, oh, it's just too much. I don't want to think about it, not today. And that's I think it's very common that we look at the big picture of what needs to be done, and that's an excellent excuse for doing anything but. So what's the action step that you can take to overcome this overwhelm? You step back and you say, what is the thing that is bothering me the most? The single biggest irritant in your home is where you start. You choose one counter, one drawer, one cupboard. When you clear that area, you clean it, you put something pretty on it or not, depending on what your style is. And then you've got some area that you've already achieved. And achieving and giving ourselves a little pat on the back and saying, hey, okay, I did that. That's a huge part of maintaining this process and maintaining the motivation to keep going. The second sort of overwhelm is the size of the task in terms of time. I just can't even begin it because I don't have time. If I get started, it'll just swallow me. It's A, the task is too big, and B, the time it is going to take is just so overwhelming that I won't do anything at all. And the action step for that is, once again, another thing that we've all had drilled into us over and over again, is to set a timer. And no, I didn't say alarm, because I'm one of those people. Alarms send me into flight or fight mode. Flight mainly, like, so no, gentle, nice, alert. Say you've got 15 minutes. Set your timer for 10 minutes. Not for 15, for 10. Okay, got me? And once again, you're back in that most irritating place, and you work for that 10 minutes in the most irritating place, and you do whatever you can do in that 10 minutes, and only that. And then when your timer goes off, that's when you go, right, now I throw away any rubbish, I put away anything that has a home and it's out of its home, I find a home for something that isn't, and I put the rest in the donate whatever bag. Okay. Which is a very smooth slide into the third sort of overwhelm. And this is really something I think that stops a lot of women. I really do. I'm not sure if men are quite as affected by this, but I certainly think that women are. And that is, what do I do with it? I don't want to just throw stuff away because it's good, it's useful, it's whatever, it costs a lot of money. Those sorts of things are really hard to overcome. So the action step is to have a plan in place already before you start. You know exactly what you're going to ask yourself when you pick up each item, and it's, do you keep it, in which case it has to have a home. As I said before, you must have a home for it. You've got to find a home for it. If it's something you use, then it needs to live where you use it. So that's the put it away pile. The give it away or donate, or, find a friend that would want it. If it's something a friend would enjoy, then you give it to your friend, or you put it in the donate pile. The third one is sell. And in some ways I think they almost need to be the other way around, that sell needs to come first, because I always feel that if you sell something, well, A, you get a benefit, you get a few dollars back for it, but also that it's gone to be useful. Somebody who has actively sought it out and wants to use it. So you're not just sort of generically passing it on or donating it and sort of making it somebody else's problem per se. You are selling it to somebody who wants it and needs it. And that, in a way, takes it away from being a problem and makes it something that's useful again, just for someone else. The fourth thing is that you recycle. Now, the thing about recycling is that sometimes you have to dismantle something a little bit in order to be able to recycle its parts. And I think that it's important that we do that, but also that increasingly, as we buy things, think about this before we get to the point of having to declutter them, remove them from our homes. If we thought about this before we brought them in, what is the end use for this product? If you think about that when you're doing your buying, I'm sure it would cut down on a lot of the issues that we have with overflowing trash heaps and overflowing recycling and all of those things. So you've done all of the good stuff, and then at the end, hopefully it's a really small pile, but that's when you actually have to start putting things in the rubbish, but only then. And with these three simple steps, three simple action steps that we've all heard, I know, but just think of it as ways of managing the three sorts of overwhelm, and it will already give you a little bit of momentum to get started. And once you get started, you can give yourself a little bit of congratulations and say, well, I've got underway. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to take you around the corner, put you down, and you can help me sort out this bookshelf because it looks messy, it's dusty, it needs cleaning desperately. I want to get some of the stuff out of the house, and if it's staying, I want it to look good and be easily accessed and that I know exactly what's there. So let's do it. So this is what the bookshelf looks like at the moment, and it is the backing for the way that the couch comes over the end of that wall, so it makes it work. So I like to keep it here, but it's a mess. Now, the problem is that I have actually had a large plant in here, standing in here over the Christmas period when I had my tree up, but it's all moved out now and I've got to redefine this space. What's in here? Okay, this is a very large vase and I have a twin for it, and yes, I do use them if I've got, say, a whole bunch of agapanthus or something that I want to put up and they just need the weight and they need the size. Here are some recipes Okay, that must have come out of this little stack. Get in here. Here's the bookmark that my son made for me when he was 3 at kindergarten. These things do not go. There are some things that, yes, are sentimental and you hang on to them. One blue and white planter pot that needs to get a plant in it. And another heavy blue and white planter pot. Came from the jungle pottery in Singapore years and years ago. And you still like them, still enjoy them. They should have a plant in them out on the balcony at least. Okay, cleaning time. Yeah, I think that counts as a good start, don't you? I think that's a dead spider. Oh no, it's a dead fly that the spider had. Okay, I have here the sort of keto diet Bible, which I'm kind of following, not following, but I'm using recipes from this. That's definitely a stay. No, don't need the Coles Christmas thing. These are some old recipe books. They're actually really good, but not something I'm using at the moment. This is kind of handy. It's like a oh yeah, it's IKEA, isn't it? It's why do you spend stuff at IKEA? What it is like something you put over the arm of a sofa if you don't have a side table beside it, so that you can put a tea or coffee or something hot on it. It's stable. It's like folding rolling bamboo, but also that it'd be quite nice sort of as a middle of the table runner to protect the table. So I'm going to keep that, but it's on notice. I haven't been using it, but then again I've had a plant sitting in front of it, so that could be part of it as well. So I'll put that, oops, it doesn't stand up in there of course, right there. Here's something that is definitely not going, but it also is not a recipe book. That's rather nice to be able to name the birds. And even though it's a really old book, I suppose I shouldn't do that to it, but really it's a very old book. Birds don't actually change. They might occasionally get renamed, but there we go, a bit of dust could come off that one, couldn't it? Goodness. So that can also, remember I'm not trying to decorate, I'm just sorting out what I'm going to keep from what I'm not. A sofa if you don't have a side table beside it, so that you can put a tea or coffee or something hot on it. It's stable, it's like folding rolling bamboo, but also that it'd be quite nice sort of as a middle of the table runner to protect the table. So I'm going to keep that, but it's on notice. You know, I used to say to plants in my garden that weren't growing really well that, you know, they had to be careful or I was going to dig them up. Put the axe next to them and let them know that they were on notice. So I think this one is sort of on notice. I haven't been using it, but then again I've had a plant sitting in front of it, so that could be part of it as well. So I'll put that, oops, it doesn't stand up in there of course, right there. Okay, here's something that is definitely not going, but it also is not a recipe book. That's rather nice to be able to name the birds. And even though it's a really old book, I suppose I shouldn't do that to it, but really it's a very old book. Birds don't actually change. They might occasionally get renamed, but there we go, a bit of dust could come off that one, couldn't it? Goodness. So that can also, remember I'm not trying to decorate, I'm just sorting out what I'm going to keep from what I'm not. Now, these are ones that I used when I was using HelloFresh. They send them, these come out with the boxes of the meals, and they are really good recipes. So I'm definitely keeping those. This is the iconic Australian Women's Weekly Children's Birthday Cake book, and the number of kids that I know who are now adults whose kids now have one of these, and every child used to sit and pore through it and decide what they wanted. Whether they got it or not is an entirely different thing. Anything by Annabelle Langbein I love. I love her quick cooking, I love her sensible down-to-earth approach to food. Keep that. And this is what I have to get rid of. It's this floating paper with to-do lists and checks and, well, that's really nice. Festive couscous, that is good. You see, some of these things need to be put into my written books. They need to be tossed out. This is Tuscan bean stew. To be fair, you know, I am not a bean kind of person. Beans and myself, we are not the best of friends. These need to be somewhere else. They are some really fabulous photography books and pictures of New Zealand. A really quirky book of New Zealand called Highway 1, which runs from the tip of the country to the very bottom and has some extraordinary great photos in it. You know, it could be Midwest America, it could be the agricultural belt of Australia, and it's New Zealand, it's in Marlborough, so it's just beautiful. That's great wine country. So these are things these are things I want to keep, but I'm not sure if this is going to be the best place for them. And now I'm doing the last bookshelf of cookery books, and these are things that I picked up from my daughter-in-law when she was leaving. But look, I'm not opening it, and if I haven't opened something in nearly a year, then I'm not going to. Now these are fun. This is My French Kitchen and The French Market. Now these are by Joanna Harris, who wrote the those wonderful books called Chocolat. Part French, part English. So I think her mother was French and her father was English. Barefoot Contessa. Can't go past her. This is our Australian version of practically of the Barefoot Contessa. Is Donna Hay. Fabulous ideas for beautiful food and quick meals, beautiful meals, feasts, family meals, everything in there. Jamie's 30-minute meals, I'm not using. I think that can go to someone else. Duck salad, seriously, not a chance. Another Annabelle Langbein one, which I really enjoyed. I have to remember, I'm not styling this, I'm just getting stuff out and cleaning. Nigella Lawson, How to Be a Domestic Goddess, absolute requirement, even if you never make anything from it. If you just feel hungry at night, who does not want to look at that? They're books for my granddaughter and any grandkids that come along. Well, I've got a pile of things that need to find somewhere else to live, and I'm doing them for now. They can go back. All of the books that aren't anything to do with food and all the rest, they can find somewhere else to live. So here we go. I've got a little pile of paper waste to get rid of. I've got some to move into the study or out to be looked at, because some of those I think I would rather enjoy just browsing through again, and so people visiting. And that's my little pile of 3 or 4 things to give away, donate. It's not decorated. It's just, remember, this was just clearing and uncluttering. Still got a lot. Does that matter? No, because as I said, this is something that I enjoy. There will be some that go from down here. I need to consolidate some of that, but I'm not going to do that now because that would take time away from actually doing the sort. There we are. A little bit of uncluttering. I hope that it motivated you a little bit to get started. I'll be doing some more in the weeks ahead. Please join me if you like this sort of thing. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notifications. And I hope that whatever you're doing today, you're having a lovely time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!